Hey, art nerds, we are going to be talking about using value and adding value to your drawings. Now, value is essentially the lightness or darkness of a color or an object, okay? You've all probably used a pencil before, and if you press harder on the pencil, your line is darker, and if you press really lightly on your pencil, it's lighter, okay? So even your pencil has the capability of creating light and dark values of itself, okay? And there's a whole range of values, and we call that like a value scale where it goes from white to black. Okay. And I know your normal pencil can't get to black, but that's why we have ebony and charcoals and that kind of stuff to get there. Anyways, we can divide up that whole value scale between highlights, midtones, and shadows, okay? And it's by accurately and strategically placing these highlight, midtones, and shadows in an artwork that creates the illusion that it is three-dimensional, okay? The highlights identify where the light is hitting the object. The shadows show us where the light cannot hit, and on the opposite side would be where the light source is, and the midtones helps join everything together and that kind of stuff. So here's sort of like a visual example of kind of like what I'm talking about. Okay, we have value and we have contour. Okay, we've already talked about contour and how it looks like a coloring book, and contour line drawings are flat. Okay, they look comic bookish. They look just flat. Okay, there's no real definition and no idea of how like thick the object can or could be. And with value, we get that full idea of the three-dimensionality of the object, okay? And we have an idea of where the light is coming from, which is something that we'll be really talking about as we move towards more observational drawing versus grid drawing. And value is essentially the big thing that creates the illusion of three-dimensional, okay, makes it look like it's 3D. So this is a skill that's extremely important to work at and hopefully master, so then you can convey the idea that something is three-dimensional. Now, we have a bunch of different ways of manipulating our drawing tool, be it a pencil, ink, marker, whatever. And it can create different types of textures and that kind of stuff. Most of the time, we'll be using blending, okay? And that's where you have like a smooth, gradual transition from light to dark values, as you see in the sphere. It's fairly smooth, okay? And we'll be using a tool called a tortillon to help us create that smoothness. And this is really good if you're drawing an image of a person. This is perfect for skin using this blending, okay? Trying to keep it nice and smooth. Then we also have stippling, okay? The noisiest of our techniques, because a lot of times you have to like tap the paper to create this kind of design. So we don't often do it with pencil. Maybe with ink, it's not quite as loud. But it is to shade by drawing dots or very, very, very short strokes with your drawing utensil. And the more dots there are, the tighter they are, and the less space between the dots, the darker it is. And then as you move towards the lighter area of an object, those dots start spreading out. And it's the space in between these dots that create the illusion of value, okay? And so like I was saying, the farther apart, the more white space, the lighter it seems. The closer together, the less white space, the darker it seems. And the same thing goes with our next two, hatching and cross hatching. Hatching is to shade by drawing fine parallel lines, okay? So you're having just one line. Sometimes they are diagonal, vertical, horizontal. It depends on what you are sketching, okay? And cross hatching is sort of having hatching done twice, okay? Where you have going one direction, then going the other direction, hence cross hatching. And so this is drawing fine parallel lines, but they're crossing over each other. And that's your cross hatching for you. So those are big things I want you to know about value, how it creates the illusion of things 3D, about the different types of blending and shading that we can do. And we'll be experimenting more with this in our assignments in class.